Hi everyone, we're here at the Avon City Hall and Police Department. You're gonna have to trust me, there's a police department in there today to be thinking a little bit about Matthew 5:21 through 37. This is the part of the Sermon on the Mount where Jesus is talking about the commandments. And we're thinking about that from a police department standpoint, first of all, because we're thinking about that when we have laws that we follow, what that means. And usually when we follow laws, it means that we haven't done something. There's an action that we weren't allowed to do and we haven't. And I'm standing out here on the outside of the police department instead of on the inside of the police department because I haven't done things like steal from people or kill people or all the other things that you're not allowed to do. When Jesus is talking in the Sermon on the Mount, he is now talking about what God expects of us in keeping the commandments. And if we were to think about the commandments just like we think about breaking laws, it sounds pretty easy to follow them, right? I haven't killed anyone this week. I haven't stolen from anyone this week. I haven't committed adultery. I haven't done the things that I'm not allowed to do under the commandments. But then Jesus actually adds a new layer on that. And it's important to remember, and Jesus actually specifically says this, that he's not replacing commandments. He's adding to those commandments. He's describing an expectation that God has that's more than just not doing those certain actions. And that expectation is to be holding those commandments in your heart. So for instance, when he talks about murder, Jesus says, yeah, you've heard that you're not supposed to kill people, but I also don't want you carrying around that hate. There's something more than just not doing the action. It's actually showing love for people. It's actually making sure that in your own heart, you're not actually doing the thing for yourself in your head that it was that Jesus asked you not to do. The same thing is true with not committing adultery. Jesus is saying, look, it's not just about not doing an act. It's about making sure that you're keeping your heart in the right place. So in addition to not letting your hands do the wrong thing, letting your feet do the wrong thing, maybe not even letting your eyes do the wrong thing, it's about thinking about things from your heart and keeping those commandments that way. And there's one last one that Jesus uses here that I want to focus on for just a moment too. There's an amazing issue about taking vows. Jesus actually relates to the idea that it's said that that you are taking vows, that people were swearing on the Bible, that sort of thing. And Jesus says, look, let's not be doing vows. And of course, people in modern days, there are some folks who think that that means that don't actually take an oath, for instance, in court, or if you're doing something that's sworn under oath. Really, what I think Jesus was talking about there, and it's in the very end of that reading, is about making sure that you understand that when you say yes, it means yes. And when you say no, it means no. It means that you're actually making promises that you're keeping in every instance, not just in those instances when you say, okay, now I'm really keeping that promise. So as we go about this week, let's think about the ways in which we can, in our hearts, keep the commandments, but also the ways in which we interact with people and making sure that when we say yes, it means yes. When we say no, it means no, even if we haven't then said, and I really, really mean it this time. Let's mean it every time. Have a great week, everybody, and have a great time with the EBC.